Hello, buddy. Hello, everybody. All right, there we go. All right, well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mikestand. Today is Wednesday, January 29th, 2025. So we're, of course, the last week of January. We're at the hump day, the middle of the week, getting over the hump. Hopefully, everybody's having a good week thus far. As we are getting ready to, as, you know, as we wait for more people to show up, gonna just give it a few minutes to give people a chance to come in. As always, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I'll answer the questions to the best of my ability. And as such, it looks like we do have at least another person in here, so I guess I can start talking a little bit about what's on tap for tonight. So I got a couple of stories, a couple of articles, one from Leading Fool, the other from Me TV Tunes. So we got kind of a kind of a car. We got they're both kind of cartoon articles as um. So Bo DeMaio's out again, talking to people, talking about how apparently he's claiming that Disney and Marvel undermined Black Riders. Um, so we'll be looking at that, and also in the other article we're going to be covering tonight um, on Me from Me TV Tunes. If you, as some of you may, if for those of you who may have grown up watching like some of the cartoons like Tom and Jerry and Looney Tunes, all that growing up, you might have noticed that sometimes the characters got frozen in a lot of cases. I mean, even in superhero cartoons like Super Friends, So um, we're gonna look at the cartoon cryonics as well. So that plus, of course, the wrestling wrap up. We'll look back at last night's NXT as well as look ahead to tonight's Dynamite as WWE, of course, continues to prepare for this Saturday's Royal Rumble. And then we will also finish things off with this day in each history. So, with all that being said, of course, why don't we go ahead and I know it's a little bit earlier than usual, but another friendly reminder if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I'll try to answer the questions best of my ability. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started here with the first article. I'm going to go over here, which is this one right here. All right, former X-Men showrunner claims Disney Marvel undermined Black Riders. Article by Avi Green, published today. So, Breitbart News reports that former X-Men 97 writer Bo DeMaio accused Marvel Studios and Disney of undermining Black Riders. So that's Avi's statement there. Now, here's from the Breitbart News article that he's referring to here. Let's see what this says. Let's see what this says here. Bo DeMaio, former showrunner and creator of Marvel's X-Men 97, which airs on Disney's streaming service, has claimed the studio undermined Black people and their stories. In a recent post on X, DeMaio responded to news that a Wonder Man project will likely race swap historically white character. Of course, now remember, DeMaio was let go by Disney in part because it's believed that part of the reason he was let go was, even though it was not never stated, was he was posting inappropriate pictures onto his Instagram and also sharing them with coworkers who may not have may not have been too appreciative of that effort. So, quote, I really want this show to be good, but this makes sense as, in brackets, Marvel Studios does not take black people or our story seriously. How could they when you have top execs making race jokes about black writers in notes meetings or saying, in smaller quote, well, you can pitch that because you're black, unquote, he said. So apparently, by that statement, he's accusing them of patronizing black people. I guess he's accusing Marvel execs of patronizing black people. So now, Avi's response to that. Even this is so. Even this is so. I think he meant to say even if this is so, it doesn't excuse what DeMaio was previously accused of. And even if he's innocent, his acceptable of wokeness is galling and doesn't make for serious entertainment. Let's also not forget what happened to Morph and also to Rogue. And for those who don't know, Morph was, I guess, they decided to make him look more like his comic book character, more like Caliban actually in the comics. And Rogue, they basically kind of smoothed out her assets, as it were. um, when the new take on the '90s cartoon was launched, and if he's got no problem with race swapping one of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's famous creations, that only compounds the perception he's that kind of woke leftist. And I guess Yellow Flash was responding to replying to Marvel Studios, and actually Bo DeMaio and Yellow, which is kind of when the looks at this, it looks like Bo DeMaio and Yellow Flash are in agreement, which I don't think anybody would have saw that coming. Uh those two, you wouldn't think those two would be in agreement on anything, but anyways, continuing on with this, it's awfully hypocritical of somebody to complain about racial bias at a company that's already very woke without admitting he contributed to the problem in his own way. The X-Men cartoon of the '90s would be better off without the ill-advised quote-unquote sequel to sully it. Yeah. I'm sure that some of us would have appreciated a sequel, but not one that threw a lot of this modern day BS into it, especially if the whole idea of the sequel is to take place right after the show's end in '97. So they're basically that they're taking it from the point of Charles Xavier leaving the planet to get to recover from his attack by um, by the Friends of Humanity or what have you, then yeah, it's just not something I think is gonna work out for them. So, anyways, so with that, there's that. So that article went kind of quick. So now let's move on to the next article then. And of course, depending on how fast we get through the next one, we might fish around see if there's anything else we can talk about here. But anyways, well, let's get to the next article then that I was going to cover here tonight. And this is, of course, the one I was just talking about as well. Cartoon Cryonics, The Art of Freezing Characters. Solid. So let's take a look at this one. This one might take a little longer, but not too much. And again, a friendly reminder to everybody, if you guys haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. We'll try to answer the questions. Try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So, with that being said, let's get into it. So, Cartoon cryonics, the art of freezing characters solid. You could say they're iced out. um, article published today at 108 by MeTV. You see some examples here. You got Scooby on the far left, Aquaman from Super Friends in the center, and then Tom. I mean, Tom's cryonic form there looks almost more crystalline than anything else. That just goes to show you. You look at these and you look at the different, you know, you might even let's see. Well, we know Scooby Doo and Aquaman are from are done by Hanna-Barbera. Um, Tom, of course, and MGM, but I think that looks like it's from the '60s, probably. So Hanna-Barbera had already moved on from them by that point. So let's get into this here. There are tons of animation tropes that surpass genres, studios, and subject matter. A classic trope is cryonics. In real life, cryonics is the practice of freezing dead bodies for future use or resurrection. In other words, we've seen this in many sci-fi where sometimes, like I remember in a Star Trek Next Generation episode, I think it was like the second or third episode, I believe, um, where they thawed out some people who had volunteered for cryonics, and one of them, the woman actually had a like a fatal disease, but I think she had cancer or something like that, and they thought that or a heart issue or something like that, and they thought that by freezing them, they'd bring them back at some point, and they could bring them back at some point, and they could live a normal life sometime, years in the future. So, anyways, see if anybody's saying anything yet. Anything more? Again, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. All right, so with that, let's get back to this end. Let's get back to the article here. Let's see. It is not scientifically endorsed as valid or useful, which makes it perfect for cartoons. In cartoon world, cryonics is when a character is frozen solid, either just frozen themselves or in a literal block of ice. The character always survives this, even if things look dicey for a moment. Well, the whole basic idea of when your body is frozen too, like that, it's like everything in your body just completely slows down. Your metabolism, your respiration, your heart, everything just kind of slows. You're not necessarily, unless you're already dead before you're actually frozen. You're not, if you get frozen alive, you're not necessarily dead, I don't believe, but let's see. Let's see, yeah. Many cartoons use cryonics as a plot point because it forces the other characters to act quickly to save. Okay, yeah, you do actually. I'm sorry, you do actually. I think it only works for when you're dead, I guess. Sometimes the character is frozen due to natural elements, and sometimes there are magical or technical forces that work to freeze them solid. Try not to get too chilly reading through the icy list of frozen cartoon characters. And again, this is a common trope, as they said, so. All right. All right. Let's see now. All right. Tom, as in Tom Cat. There's, of course, Tom, as in Tom and Jerry from MGM, the cat and mouse, not to be confused with the Van Buren duo of the two humans, of Tom, the tall guy, and Jerry, the short guy. Anyways, Tom, in 1964's Nobody Loves Me, it's the dead of winter, and Tom and Jerry take turns locking each other out of a nice warm cheese shop. Jerry accidentally locks Tom out, and he freezes solid, um, except for his tail, which he uses to drag himself back inside, which you see right there. Again, this form of icing is or cryonics seems to you get the animation here looks more like he's more in a more crystallized form, you know, than anything else. Jerry, of course, probably from the same. And you notice how one of the effects of crowd is how it turns their skin totally blue, like totally like kind of light grayish blue. Um, Jerry, in the same short, Tom locks Jerry outside, buried in the snow. Eventually, Tom's guilty conscience forces him to go outside and save Jerry, who is frozen solid. It is implied that Jerry might not make it. But a spoonful of schnapps gets him dancing around in no time. Now, mind you, schnapps, that might have been just a term they used for it, but from what I understand, and we've seen this, I've seen this in a number of cartoons as well, particularly like Woody Woodpecker cartoon, I think some Walter Lantz cartoons in particular, but sometimes you do have the big sheep, not sheepdogs, but the Saint Bernards up north in like Alaska and stuff like that. They're sent out as rescue dogs with a small barrel of brandy that they give to people who are frozen. I guess brandy is supposed to help help warm you up, warm your body up. So, anyways, moving on to number 3 here, Aquaman. Aquaman. Even an action show like Super Friends uses cryonics, which of course does kind of fit into some like and we've seen it quite a bit, particularly with when Captain Cold has made an appearance, of course, with his cold gun and all that, in Challenge of the Super Friend, and of course later on in of course Justice League Unlimited, Flash and Substance, among others. Supervillain and nemesis of Aquaman, Sculpin, uses a freeze ray to freeze the Earth's waters, and Aquaman 2. Superman uses his heat vision to melt the ice and free Aquaman. He had to be careful though that he didn't in trying to melt the ice, he didn't fricassee his friend there though. Scooby Doo and Shaggy, look at that. And this happened to them on a few occasions. Now some of these characters, even though they're only specifying one example. Some of these characters have had this happen to them on multiple occasions. I know Tom and Jerry have each been frozen on more than just that one short. They've been frozen on a few. Anytime that it seems like anytime there's been some kind of wintry episode, you know. Same thing here with Shaggy and Scooby here. So Scooby Doo and let me see if anybody's come in to say hi yet. Nope. All right. Scooby Doo and Shaggy. In the Scooby Doo Where Are You episode, That Snow Ghost, Mr. Ink is on vacation at a ski resort and end up investigating a snow ghost that is haunting the resort. While being chased by the snow ghost, Scooby and Shaggy drive their snowmobile through a pond with thin ice, briefly fall in and freeze themselves solid. The rest of the gang help by chiseling them out. And again, even though they're only giving one example in each of these, I believe, some of these characters have been frozen in some form of ice on multiple occasions. Again, anytime there's a wintry episode, in other words, an episode that takes place maybe in the winter time, there's a chance you might see them frozen. And here we go again, Scooby. See what I tell you? Here's another example. Scooby Doo. You must be saying to yourself, surely Scooby doesn't get frozen solid again. Wrong. He does. This time, the Scooby Doo Show episode, A Scary Night with a Snow Bear Fright. The gang is once again at a haunted ski resort. While escaping a snow beast, Scooby climbs to the top of a large totem pole where he is covered in snow and frozen solid. Scooby gets out of this through the power of love. A kiss from a female husky helps melt the ice. Yeah. Yep. And okay, so I wasn't sure if they were gonna do multiple examples from any one cartoon, but apparently they decided. As I said, and I've seen a few other examples of Tom and Jerry too, where it's happened. I've seen a time or two with Looney Tunes. I mean, it's a common trope. It's the whole cryonics thing is a common trope. Of course, they're only probably going to give 10 examples here, but you just see how much of a common trope it is. So, again? Yes, again. Scooby is a pupsicle at this point. In the Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo episode, Snow Job Too Small, Scooby is frozen solid once again. Scooby, Scrappy, and Shaggy are tasked with helping a boy named Wilbur travel to receive his uncle Cosgrove's inheritance. But they're being chased by the abominable snowman on the way there. Scooby skis into the side of a mountain and freezes into a block of ice. Luckily, there is a chalet at the top of the mountain, and he is able to warm up once again. So look, there's Scooby. Not only do you see him frozen in the block of ice right there, but he's like so cool. He does. Mystery Inc. And this one from the pup named Scooby Doo. It's from the 1988-89 cartoon in which, of course, the Scooby Doo gang were like kids. They weren't even teenagers. They were like school-age children, middle schoolers possibly. At least this time, Scooby Doo wasn't frozen alone. The whole Mystery Inc. gang was frozen into a block of ice together in the A Pup Named Scooby-Doo episode, Snow Plays Like Home. The gang are once again trying to go skiing when an ice demon chases them and freezes the gang together with his ice powers. This time, however, Scooby's tail remains unfrozen, so he uses it as a spring to jump and break the block of ice apart. You see right there how they're all frozen together. And you see Shaggy, I guess. Alexander, Melody, and Valerie from Josie and the Pussycats. Josie and the Pussycats. Of course, Alexander Cabot, voiced by, Casey Kasem, who also did the voice of Shaggy. Melody, the blonde right there. Let's see, can't remember. Like the other two, I can't remember. There's Melody and Valerie. Valerie, the black girl on the far left, and Melody on the right there. So, in Chill Today, Hot Tamale, Josie and the gang are trying to prevent the evil Scorpion from using his weather machine to take over the world. The gang separates, and three of them are caught by Scorpion's minions. Scorpion then uses his weather machine and freezes Alexander, Melody, and Valentine. I think it's supposed to be Valerie, not Valentine. Solid. Alexandra accidentally frees them. Alexandra is Alexander's sister, and she's voiced, I know, by Sherry Alberoni, who, of course, voiced Wendy in the first Super Friends season, 1973. By opening the machine, which makes their frozen figures fall over, and the ice breaks off of them. Number 9, the Smurfs. So the Smurfs got frozen. So in the TV movie Smurf Quest, the Smurfs have to go on a journey to find the purest sources of the 4 primal elements to restore the Long Life Stone, which is the magical stone. Now, I've never heard of this movie, but this almost looks more like, I don't remember this movie myself, but this looks more like from the 80s cartoon than anything else. Which is the magical stone that basically grants Smurfs eternal life. They go to the Arctic Circle, where they encounter Jack Frost, who freezes the Smurfs into a giant block together. Funny enough, the person who accidentally saves them is Gargamel when he stumbles and causes a large block of ice to fall and break Smurfs out of their frozen prison. You got Papa Smurf there, Grandpa, Handy, Greedy, Sassette. I don't know who the one over at the far left is there. Can't really tell from this perspective. One of the 2 curious puppies is from a Looney Tunes short. In the 1941 Merry Melody short, Snow Time for Comedy, one of the 2 curious puppies falls halfway into the frozen pond, causing his lower half to be encapsulated in ice. So you see it right there, and it's a pretty clear shot of the ice right there. Pretty clear form right there. Almost like somebody put a pair of ice pants on him. Kind of the opposite of hot pants, right? Halfway into a frozen pond, causing his lower half to... Okay, yeah, we read that part. He spends the rest of the cartoon trying to get out of the ice and barely makes it out before the credits roll. And that can be kind of funny too, in that, you see that, he's able to move his upper torso, right? So he's probably using his upper legs to move around, but then, since his lower half is frozen, all that can really do is just kind of slide along. So let's see, number 11, Yosemite Sam. Oh, look at that. Another one where he's just his body is frozen, and it's kind of that kind of light bluish gray kind of cryonic effect there. So Yosemite Sam, even tough guys like Yosemite Sam aren't immune from being frozen solid. In the 1957 Looney Tunes short, Piker's Peak, Bugs Bunny and Yosemite Sam compete to be the first to reach the top of the mountain. Yosemite Sam intentionally causes an avalanche, in parentheses here, to get rid of Bugs, and is buried in the snow and frozen solid. Luckily, a St. Bernard pulls him out so he can thaw and continue mountaineering. Again, St. Bernards are typically used for mountain rescues. Daffy Duck, and there's Daffy right there in his frozen. 1964's The Iceman Ducketh was the last Looney Tunes short starring both Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny. Daffy is hunting Bugs and tries to burn down the tree Bugs is hiding in, causing the snow in the tree to melt and then refreeze on Daffy. And actually, that trick we've seen a few times in cartoons. That's a trick that's been used a few times, and it looks like we're going to have multiple examples again of a particular character getting frozen. Now, mind you, I'm sure they're not showing every single instance, because as I said, yes, they showed quite a few instances of Scooby-Doo. They're showing a couple instances in Daffy Duck. There's been a few cases where characters throughout many shorts have been frozen, probably more than you would think. Obviously this is just to give a handful of examples here. But anyways, Daffy Duck again here. So also in The Iceman Ducketh, almost immediately after he thaws, Daffy chases Bugs down a hill. Bugs grabs a bucket of water from a frozen pot, which this is another classic trope in the cryonics area, where usually a character will throw a bucket of water on somebody in when it's like freezing cold, and of course the water will just freeze over the character, like seen here. Let's see. And pours it into Daffy, freezing him in a wave of sorts. See, like right there. That's the idea. That's been used as a common trope too. So, and then that's it for that one. Let's see what time it is. See what time it is. And again, if you haven't already, you guys can help out by liking and sharing this. So let me at least take a quick peek around to see if there's anything else we can kind of look at here real quickly. But let me just finish that. Let me just finish what I was saying, of course. Haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. Actually, though, right now I do need to step away from the camera for a moment. So I'll be right back. I'll put some music on when I'm done. I'll be right back. Alrighty then. So, anyways, let me go take a quick peek around here, see if there's any interest that come up more recently. And if not, we'll probably move right into the uh, doesn't look like anything new there. Because sometimes even after you select material, sometimes the cover, sometimes stuff pops up after you made your selection. So that's why we're just quickly taking a look here. But again, as always, if feel free to comment or ask questions about anything pertaining to what we're talking about here. La 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 la. La 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 la. I knew there. All right, so it looks like we've cleared out everything, all the main stories tonight. So we'll go ahead and move on here to the next. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at, of course, is I'm going to go back to last night's NXT to kind of get you all caught up. As of course, further news, albeit not confirmed yet, it is believed that Jordan Grace, and we mentioned this last night, has signed with the WWE, will possibly be making her debut at this weekend's Royal Rumble. So might want to be looking out for her. But from Center Stage Theater in Atlanta, Georgia, WWE held its NXT show. The opening match saw Bayley and Julia defeat Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, as it would appear that there seemed to be somewhat of a schism happening between Jade and Perez, as Perez is getting a title rematch against Julia, while Cora Jade being kind of frozen out of that. Wesley defeated Trick Williams by DQ. Fallon Henley retained the NXT Women's North American title over Shotzi. Ethan Page defeated Cedric Alexander, and Bianca Belair and Naomi retained the WWE Women's Tag titles over Metaphor, Jakara Jackson, and Lash Legend. Now, of course, with all that being said, now let's look ahead to talk about tonight's Dynamite. See if I can find that. On tonight's Dynamite, scheduled for tonight's Dynamite, Brian Cage of the Don Callis family will be taking on Will Ospreay in a match that was set up this past Saturday on Collision, I believe. Claudio Castagnoli will be taking on Jeff Jarrett. If Jeff Jarrett can defeat Castagnoli, he'll get a shot at John Moxley for the AEW World Title. Ricochet takes on AR Fox and two individuals who've had some recent history with Swerve Strickland. Jay White takes on Wheeler Yuta. And in the main event, we'll see Mercedes Moné defending the TBS title against Yuka Sakazaki. So, that's pretty much all I got for the all I got in terms of the rest of it. Let's see. Well, I guess I can reiterate this. Well, maybe what I can do too. Actually, let me just check something here. Maybe we can look ahead to this weekend's Royal Rumble. See if there's been any more possible entrants. Any more possible entrants into the Royal Rumble itself? Of course, this Saturday. From Indianapolis, Indiana, from the Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. Of course, DIY will be defending the WWE Tag Team titles in the best 2 out of 3 match against former champs Motor City Machine Guns. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens will be involved in a ladder match for the WE and Universal title, the undisputed title. Also, the Winged Eagle belt will also be, as you know, Cody seeks to get that belt back from Kevin Owens. Owens was using that, stole that belt to try to get the leverage needed to get a world title shot. Now, an updated list on those who will be involved in the Royal Rumble match. In the men's Royal Rumbles match, of course, got Shinsuke Nakamura, CM Punk, Rey Mysterio, John Cena, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Penta, Chad Gable, Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, and Logan Paul all have already declared for the men's Royal Rumble. In the women's Royal Rumble, you have Naomi, Bayley, Io Sky of Damage Control, Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Raquel Rodriguez, Lyra Valkyrie, and Ivy Nile. There's also some rumors going around that possibly there might be a couple more to be added, a couple of surprise entrants, one of which, as we talked earlier, was Jordynne Grace, making her possible or WWE, well, not her debut because she was on NXT before, but basically making her debut, making her post-signing debut. And then there's also been some talk that the possibility that Trish Stratus may also be participating in the women's Royal Rumble this year. So we'll have to stay tuned, see how that all plays out. Let's see. And I guess at this point we can now up to 46 minutes here, so it will kill some time there. So today being and again feel free to ask to comment or ask questions on anything that we're talking about here. If anything grabs your attention. But with that, Today is Wednesday, January the 29th. So let's take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. History! So let me just see here. 85, 75, 2005, and 2005. All right. So first up, I'm going to head back 50 years ago today, as on this date, 50 years ago today, um, on this date 50 years ago today, down in Mexico City at the Palacio de los Deportes in Mexico City, the Universal Wrestling Association, known in Mexico as Lucha Libre International, um, held its first event there as it would run, as UWA would run from 1975 to 1990. You could argue that it was kind of the precursor to AAA of today. Um, the of course, in the main event, you saw Anibal successfully retain the NWA World Middleweight Championship over his longtime rival Rene Guajardo, as well as part of the undercard, Mil Mascaras, Rey Mendoza, and El Solitario defeated the Dory Dixon, El Canuck, and Cindy Warcloud in a 2 out of 3 falls 6-man tag match. So there you go with that one. So as we now move on to the next piece of Nietzsche history, we move ahead 10 years to 1985. On this date in 1985, we will get to that in a moment. On this date in 1985, the 100th issue of Archie's TV Laugh Out premiered on, actually, I'm sorry, went on sale on newsstands on this date back in 1985. Sold for 65 cents for 32 pages. Of course, the features included Archie, Sabrina, Glenn Scarpel, and Josie. And I believe the Josie feature, of course, was from Josie and the Pussycats, I think. But of course, they each had Archie, the book, Sabrina, Rock Uke, Glenn Scarpelli, Nightmare, and then Have a Nice Day from Josie. So on this day in 1985, 40 years ago today, the 100th issue of Archie's TV Laugh Out went on sale on newsstands on this date back in 1985. All right, so let's see. So moving on now to the next piece of Nietzsche history. On this date 20 years ago today, 2005. So do we get there? Actor and voice actor Ron Feinberg passed away at the age of 72 on this date back in 2005, 20 years ago today. Now, Ron Feinberg, the name might not sound familiar to you, but you would probably definitely know his voice. As some of the voices he was credited with doing include Headstrong from the Transformers, Andre the Giant from Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling, Doc Terror from the Centurions, Titanus, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ming the Merciless, from Defenders of the Earth, and Vladimir Goldanov, Grizzlykov, and Darkwing Duck. Had a pretty pretty baritone to bass voice. You probably again you'd recognize his voice more than you might recognize his name. But on this date, back in 2005, 20 years ago today, Ron Feinberg passed away at the age of 72. And 2005 is just so nice that we're going to hit it twice. As also on this date in 2005, Neon Ad Systems and Production IG's The Prince of Tennis, Futari no Samurai, premiered in Japanese theaters on this date back in 2005. So 20 years ago today, the anime film from Neon Ad Systems and Production IG, Prince of Tennis, Futari no Samurai, or literally translated, The Prince of Tennis, The Two Samurai, the first game, premiered in Japanese theaters on this date back in 2005. So, with that, I do thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Hope you guys found it informative. If you haven't already, of course, you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream. See if we get some more people to watch, to engage with the content. Also, if feel free to not only comment in the chat, but also comment in the comment section. Anything grab your attention. And, of course, we're back here tomorrow night with more niche news, as well as this Sunday, RJ Carter from Critical Blast will be joining me as we will be looking back to comics coming on sale in April 1940. This Sunday we'll be focusing in on Prize Comics, rather. Prize Comics Volume 1, Issue 4. So hope to see everybody back here tomorrow and on Sunday. So until then, bye.